Hello everyone, I thought I'd better do an update of my seeds. So we're about, what is it, it's the 9th of May? So we're in like the first week of May. It's been raining the last few days a little bit, and the temperature did drop at night a few days. So my seeds are still in the greenhouse, my seedlings rather, they're still in the greenhouse, and let me just give you an update of what's been going on and how they've been going on. So let's start from the right. So here I've got some achocha plants. They're doing pretty nicely, growing well, and I planted 8 and 7 have grown, so that's a pretty good success rate. And then some beans of several types here, and you can see they've also grown really well. So I just caught a snail. He's been munching on my beans, and this is what they usually go for. A little tip, they'll go straight for your bean plants before anything else. So here we are, so they're doing okay, the beans are doing fine. So I managed to grab that snail and had to deal with him. This is what really annoyed me. And look what he's done. He has chewed the end of my plant, the top of my plant, and I don't think that bean plant is going to give any more leaves, to be honest. I think it's a goner. But what I did is water it and hope that maybe some leaves may grow out and a new stem, and then it'll be fine. So I initially, if you remember in my previous video, I grew some cucumber plants in a punnet. So then what I did was, as they were a little bit smaller, about the size of these, these are the cucumber ones that you saw me planting in that video. So I've got some cucumbers growing here, and the cucumbers, I managed to separate a lot of them into pots. So I've got some here, there's more cucumbers here, and now in this tray, this needs a bit of water, it's very dry, so this needs water. I'm not sure what kind of bean this is, but anyway, it needs a bit of water. I'll figure it out. That's what happens when you don't label everything. So here is, here are more beans, Bangladeshi beans, and you can see here, it's, you know, some of the, look, I've called this one cellar beans. I found some beans in the cellar and none of them have grown. So it's not a good one to grow, I guess. So anyway, and here in this tray I have, I did amaranth here and nothing has grown. Beans along here, and as you can see only one has grown, or 2 rather, 50% success rate. And these are cucumbers, they're doing really well. So 100% success rate with this type of cucumber, and the last row is another type. 2 of them have grown out of 4, so that's fine. I only need about 5 or 6 for my garden, to be honest, and I'm gonna give them out. Here you go, more cucumbers, really, really nice. They look nice and healthy. And here are the cucumbers that I sowed a while back, so they look beautiful, don't they? Yeah, how gorgeous they are. Small, you know, they're quite small at the moment. So here's in this tray, look at this. This is really disappointing, to be honest. I planted several bean plants, as you can see. Look, 4 by 5, so that's 20 seeds or beans have gone into into this tray, and only 3 have managed to sprout properly. The hanging tomatoes doing really nicely. I only need 6 plants, and I've actually transplanted some into my into the conservatory at the front, and I'll show you those later on. They're doing quite well, but these are also doing really, really well in the greenhouse outside. Naga pepper plant, or Naga chili plant, one, and another one here. I didn't sow these myself, by the way. These were given to me, and these are gourds. So the others are cucumbers. These are gourd plants. I'll have to give these away again. I've got too many gourd plants. Again, in this tray, I planted several kind of beans, and as you can see, I'm not getting a very good success rate. I'll have to look into that. But you know, I'm just being honest. That's why I always grow more than I need, or plant more than I need, because you can't guarantee success. And this is amaranth. It's doing fine. So what I usually do with the amaranth is I let it grow another few more inches, maybe another inch or so, and then I will plant them and then I'll transplant them into the ground when the weather is warmer. So I'm expecting maybe in about a week's time I'll be able to transplant these as well. The other thing I've got in the greenhouse is achocha. Beg your pardon, not achocha. So this is taro or hosu, and I've put these. Basically, when I go to the vegetable shops, I look for the taros with the stems growing, and then I just, these are the best ones to bring. So, and then what I'm doing now is I'm in the greenhouse. I'm keeping them inside this planter, and when the leaves grow a little bit larger, and obviously the weather outside is also warmer, I'm going to transplant them into the areas that I want to in the garden. Another little critter. You are not my friend, I'm afraid. I'll sort him out. I don't think you want to see this bit now. So these were the seedlings inside the greenhouse. So yes, most of them were planted in March and April, and this is the result of it. It's still not late, actually. In fact, I planted some beans yesterday. I'll show you anyway what else I did. So even though we're at the start of May, there's still time to plant a lot of vegetables. I always plant more than I need, because if I get extras, then I can always pass them over to others. And I can somehow squeeze them into my garden as well. So lots of cucamelons here and there, and they're going to be distributed to friends and family. So here we are in my mum's room. He's my late mother, actually, and we still call this room my mum's room, and we probably always will. So what have I got here? So here's some large tomatoes. My sister gave me these seeds from a great big tomato that she ate, and she kept these seeds for us to grow. So there's vine. These are the naga plants that, if you saw the ones that just in the greenhouse, so this one was actually from the same lot, but you can see because this one is at home, so it's not only getting the warmth during the day, but also at night time, it's growing a lot better. So although a greenhouse is great, if you've got a well-lit area indoors, it's probably still going to be better than having it outside. This little plant here, I've got two of these. These are pepper plants that are brown, naga chili plants that are brown. So they're pretty small. I'm hoping that something will grow at this time of the year. For pepper plants, it is quite small. Okay, so we'll give you an update, and we'll see whether we get anything. A couple of cucumber plants. As you can see, this are quite leggy, and the reason why that happens is because of lack of sunlight. So because these are indoors and it doesn't get direct sunlight throughout the day, plants do get leggy. But these were grown at the same times as the ones that you saw in the greenhouse a few minutes earlier. So here we have chili plants. There's a couple. My niece gave these plants. They're not growing very straight, but let's see how they do. I'll transplant them to their own pots and larger pots eventually. And yesterday, in fact, last night, I sowed some beans in this tray here because I don't believe that I have enough. So I'm gonna just grow some, and if I get extras, and there's always people willing to take your plants for free. Trust me. So this is what I have upstairs. Let's just go to the porch. So here I am in the porch. This is the best place in the house to grow. It's even better than the greenhouse, I'd say, because obviously being part of the house, it's not cold overnight like it is outside and in the greenhouse. And everything that I've grown here has actually done really well. So very good place to grow. So what have we here? We have the gourd plants, and I seeded. I sowed these myself. It's the first time I've done this, so I'm pleased with that. So I'm going to probably plant about 3 of those, and usually we plant 3, and that's usually enough. We don't want too many plants, so you get too much foliage and not enough fruit. So I'll have these growing 3 of those. So these 2 are of one type, and that one here is a different type. These are just some ball peppers which I transplanted, and this is where they started in this tray. So they're doing fine. In about a month, I think I'm gonna put them, well, less than a month, hopefully. I'm gonna skip transplanting it into a pot and then into the ground. I'm gonna put most of them straight into the ground, and I'll keep 1 or 2 in pots and see, and in the greenhouse, and keep it in the greenhouse rather. So these 6 tomato plants are hanging tomatoes, because I will be growing 6 hanging tomatoes, and because I transplanted them from the trays into these pots, you can see that they're growing really well. By the way, these 2 sticks, I put them into the ground today because when I came back from work, I noticed that the plant's getting quite long and it's ready to start climbing. So hopefully indoors it will start climbing, and then I will carefully plant these into the ground, and I'll do a video of how I do that. There's a few more gourd plants which I grew just in case I didn't get enough. There'll be enough customers or enough people after these. I'll give these away to anyone else who wants them, and a couple of more of the ball peppers. I actually separated them to see if they grow really well, but you can see the difference between these and these isn't really much. In fact, I think the ones that stayed in the trays did better. It just shows that when you tamper with, and this one, you think it's got a larger volume for its root to grow into. So far, not really. I think these have done quite well. So transplanting plants, it gives them a bit of a shock, and they don't necessarily do well straight away. Yes, these tomatoes do really well, or have done really well, but tomatoes are like weeds, aren't they? So this is it. So this is my seedlings for this year, guys, so far, in May time, and I think I've got enough. If I don't have enough, I'll borrow or get seedlings of others, and I'm sure people give some to me anyway, like I'll be giving to others. So please look out for my other videos, future videos of how these plants will be grown into the ground, how I'll transplant them. I'll do a video of that, and so please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and follow my garden and my plants and this summer, please. And also my next video I'm hoping to do is about broad beans, which I've grown in the garden. They're doing pretty well, so look out for that. Take care, see you soon.